Okay, Gloucester Road. This footpath, I just counted the blocks, the 100 by 200 millimeter blocks. The footpath is 5 meters from the face of the building to the curb. The tree, excuse me, the tree is 1.5 meters back from the curb. Just like those design guidelines that I showed you from that Greening Master Plan report. And what have we got here? Ta-da! Syzygium jambos. And we can see that Syzygium jambos is in flower. Now this has a fairly, normally, fairly decurrent crown form, but gets pruned inadvertently by the buses, and it gets pruned, by the maintenance department to stop it from spreading out. So, but it's a pretty tough species. I mean, it must be tough to grow here. So, how long have they been in? I guess about 5 years, something like that. Not very long. They're fairly newly planted. I can't actually remember what was here before, to be honest. And then we have a little median here, and surprise, surprise, Schefflera arboricola. And further back from the sight line point there, set back from the sight line, we've got some trees in that median there. This is a species that's not on your list, but it's another quite good street tree species, Peltophorum tonkinese. Peltophorum tonkinese, which is just having spring foliage is just coming out now. Should have yellow flowers in the summer. And then in the main median, guess what the shrub is? It is Schefflera arboricola again. Surprise, surprise. I mean, to be honest, yes, it's boring. It's totally boring, but not quite as boring as concrete. Therefore, it's better than nothing. Now, the palms here in the middle of the in that central median, Roystonea regia. Roystonea regia. Now, the big one, you'll see that there's a mixture of great big tall ones and smaller ones. And the story here is that median was built at grade, right? The profile barrier was not there. It was just regular curves, and I actually have a photograph of this median taken around 1980, early 80s, and you can see that the Roystonea were planted at that level. Then I reckon about 10 years later, probably 1990, something like that, those profile barriers were installed, and the soil level was raised by a meter around those trees. Surprisingly, they survived, right? They survived, but if you look closely, I don't know if I can get that close, but if you look closely right down there, you can see that the trunks have these funny knobs on them, like weird kind of growths. And that was a response to the soil level being raised up when they were young. Anyway, quite a few of them survived and now looking rather grand. But because of that interruption of growth when the profile barriers were put in, some of them, a lot of them became structurally unsound and have been taken away. To my surprise, somebody must have bullied LCSD into accepting that replacement trees should be put in. Somebody with more influence than me, I can tell you, because I tried to bully them and it didn't work. So these palms, these smaller palms, have only just been planted. I mean, they've only been planted in the last 6 months or so, certainly less than a year. And you can see that they just come from the nursery. The fronds have been cut in half, but there seems to be some new growth coming from the centre of the tree. So they look pretty useless and scrappy at the moment, but give them another year. Let's see how they do. So I think some of them may not make it, but you know, sometimes they amazingly can resurrect themselves from the dead, and we'll see. Anyway, those are newly planted Roystonea regia, and you can see that they've been guyed with well, I mean, they've been guyed, double guyed. They've been guyed with the horrible angle irons and the bits of string, and then they've got additional not expensive posh cables, you know, just plastic twine, additional cabling to hold them up. The reason that they've gone a bit overboard with the guying on these trees is because they're so neurotic about them falling into the fast lane, which is understandable. I mean, you know, if you have a 4-meter Roystonea fall on your windscreen, this can be quite bad for your health. So they're very, very worried about these trees falling over before they get well established. Anyway, we'll see how they do. I might as well, since I'm here, let's go to the other side of the road. What have we got? Yes, we've got Aleurites moluccana. Those were also planted around 1980. They were young, newly planted trees when I first saw them in '82. Now look at them, quite mature, and you know, they're probably, look at there's a bit of dieback on the top. They're probably going to run out of soil volume soon. And then further down, we've got Ficus benjamina, and those were planted when this whatever this Central Plaza, whatever it's called, was built, and I can't remember when that was, but I think late 90s, something like that. So I think those Ficus benjamina are probably, say, 20 to 25 years old, I think. Anyway, easy to find on the internet when Central Plaza was built, and then you can check it out. The trees must have gone in after that building was built. Okay, Gloucester Road.